All right, Shalom. I'd like to start up saying Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth to sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Kanaksa Anban Yasharala from the Lions in the Yasharala camp. Which is going to be another Lions Den news and prophecy. And the article that this is on is Russia voices concern as Armenia prepares to exercise with U.S. troops. It said drills will prepare units for international peacekeeping missions, says Yerevan, as it ties with Moscow appear increasingly strained. All right, so I wonder what kind of peace military drills are going to bring forth. That's an oxymoron within itself. So you're developing strategies of war, right, to bring peace on the earth. But it sounds like that's doing the exact opposite. As a matter of fact, we're going to get that in the scriptures in a minute. All right, it says Armenia is set to host a joint military exercise with the United States next week. A development that Russia says has cause for concern. That's what it says. It should say has, not was. It says the Armenian Defense Ministry said on Wednesday the purpose of the September 11th through 20th, Eagle Partner 2023 drills was to prepare its forces to take part in international peacekeeping missions. Within the frameworks of preparation for peacekeeping missions, units prepared for international peacekeeping operations frequently participate in similar joint exercises and trainings in partner countries, the ministry said in a statement. All right, it says a military spokesperson said 85 American soldiers and 175 Romanian would take part. He said the Americans, including members of the Kansas National Guard, which has a 20-year-old training partnership with Armenia, would be armed with rifles and would not use heavy weaponry. Earlier this year, Armenia refused to host military drills by the Collective Security Treaty Organization and Russian-led alliance of Soviet countries, reflecting Yerevan's growing tensions with Moscow. Despite the small scale of this week's exercise, the Kremlin said it would be watching closely. All right, so basically, as ties between Armenia and Moscow start to dwindle away, and tensions rise between those two nations, those two countries, they're as they sever the ties with Russia, they're strengthening the ties with America, the United States, which ultimately that's what's raising concerns in Russia, because if you think about it, America has been moving like kind of like sneak dissing when it comes to preparing itself for war. But everybody knows America's preparing itself for war, all right? Everybody knows this. So, but to make a broad move like this is them escalating, because a lot of times the United States likes to throw rocks and hide their hand, but now they're being a little bit more aggressive. I got a couple more articles I want to go into about that. They're being a little bit more aggressive, and then you got Kamala Harris, or whatever the hell her name is, making that announcement that she's prepared to replace Joe Biden if need be. So what the hell is going on with him? I gotta do a lesson about that next. So America's moving a little bit faster than normal when it comes to this preparation for this war that's about to happen. So look for them to move a lot quicker on the economic side, like bringing forth their agenda to go with a digital currency, because that's gonna have to take part first before this war gets really. They might kick the war off, but in order before it reaches the peak of the war, the MOTB has to be pushed. Okay, It says, of course, such news causes concerns, especially in the current situation. Therefore, we will deeply analyze this news and monitor the situation. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said, Russia has a military base in Armenia and sees itself as the preeminent power in the South Caucasus region. That's funny. Over there in the mountains that they used to be pushed up in. It says, which until 1991 was part of the Soviet Union. Right, and that's a whole situation dealing with the whole Ukraine thing. That was once part of the Soviet Union also. That's why they annexed Crimea in 2014. Looking to do the same thing with Kiev in Ukraine. It says it maintains a peacekeeping force in the region to uphold an agreement that ended a war between Armenia and Azerbaijan in 2020. The second they have fought since the Soviet collapse. But Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said in a weekend interview with an Italian newspaper that Russia had failed to protect Armenia against what he called continuing aggression from oil-rich Azerbaijan. He suggested that Russia's war in Ukraine meant it was unable to meet Armenia's security needs, so they jumping ship. And America's like, oh, I'll protect you guys, just like how they do when they want to impose their will on certain regions of the world in certain countries. They offer their protection, just like how the mafia does. All right. It said Russia is an absolutely integral part of this region. He said Russia plays a consistent, very important role in establishing the situation in this region. All right, and we will continue to play this role. It says tensions between Moscow and Yerevan are rooted in Armenia's conflict with Azerbaijan over Nagorno-Karabakh, a region which lies between the Azerbaijan but has been under control of ethnic Armenian forces between the Yerevan since a separatist war there ended in 1994. It says Pashinyan has been increasingly critical of Russian peacekeepers in recent months, accusing them of failing to secure free transit along a corridor linking Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. All right. So the part that baffles me is they're making all these doing all these military exercises and staging all this doing these military drills and staging and preparing out for all-out war, to then say that they're doing this to bring peace on the earth. The only war that's going to bring peace on the earth is when Yahweh Shai shows up with the fleet of the holy angels. Esau was not sent down here to put peace on the earth. He was sent down here, right, to take peace away from the earth. All right, and get the scripture to close it out. I want to get Revelation chapter 6. In Revelation chapter 6, verse 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him, all right, that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth. All right, and that red horse represents Esau, all the way from the start of it with Alexander, with the Greeks, all the way to the situation we see right here now. You know? All right, it says, Revelation 6:4 again, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given him who sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword, man. And who was that? Whose blessing was the sword? Esau. So that's what Esau was sent down here to do, man. To deceive the nations, to bring forth the ultimate judgment on this world, man, with nuclear fire. All right? And it's all being set up by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so given a great sword. Let's look at that sword. Let me get Genesis 27:39. This is the blessing that was given unto Esau, man. So like I said, that red horse represents Esau from the moment they started conquering their conquest from the Greeks all the way until now. All right. And that great sword was given to him that was an instrument of destruction. All right. This is Genesis 27:39. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said, behold, all right, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. All right, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. All right, this goes into the perpetual hatred that Esau had towards Jacob. So that great sword that was given unto him, it was his blessing for him to take over the earth with the sword, and for them to break the yoke. They rebelled against against Israel, because we had them in subjection at one point in time. I think that's in the either 1 Kings or 2 Kings chapter 8. I'm not sure, but right. So that great sword, that instrument of destruction, was how Esau was going to live, and that was his blessing. So there's nothing that they could do to bring peace on the earth, because guess what? They weren't sent here to bring peace. They were sent here to take away peace, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they're doing exactly what they've been instructed to do. So they're bringing forth war, right, to take peace away from the earth. That's what the whole point of these military drills and exercises are for, all right? To bring fear in these other nations, to get these other nations to comply to what their agenda is. That's not peace. That's oppression. When you go to war and break a nation down to sign a document, what you call a peace treaty, right, that forces them to go against the laws of their land or the laws of their fathers, they do that with every nation. That's not to bring peace on the earth. That's to take peace away from the earth, man. But the Lord has something for that, because there's no peace for the wicked. All right, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and serve this purpose with that, like Sekah Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harikah Kwadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and my elder Heroin as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.